Pleasant good morning, dear students. It's me, Shinde Vedi. Once again, I welcome all of you in my video lecture. We have been dealing with a wonderful, electrifying story that is The Cop and the Anthem by O. Henry. We know that the protagonist of the story is Soapy, and the story is about Soapy's attempts to get arrested. We have seen his 5 attempts failed, and now the flashback. We were dealing with the flashback, or actually, it is not the flashback, actually, it is the turning point of the story, or we can call it the climax of the story. The transformation of Soapy started. Okay, so we were on page number 30. Okay, so actually uh, we we have been dealing with the scene which was there in the country churchyard, or that is in the area near the church. Okay, we were on page number 31, and we were experiencing the transformation. We were experiencing the state of mind of our Soapy. So you know that we have seen in the last video about the quiet corner, about the church, and how was that church quaint, rambling and gabbled. After that, there was reference of Sabbath anthem and the effects of the Sabbath anthem on Soapy's mind. And look at that, the atmosphere was helping Soapy for the transformation. How was the atmosphere? Moon was above, full and radiant, and vehicles and pedestrians were few. Sparrows twittered sleepily in the eaves. Okay, so an anthem that the organist played cemented Soapy to the iron fence, for he had known it well in the days when his life contained such things as mothers and roses and ambitions and friends and immaculate thoughts and the colors. So the atmosphere and the notes of the music, or in the last lecture we have seen that what is the importance of music in our life, or music has the power to heal us. Okay, so it is the remedy for the imbalanced mind, we can call it. Okay, and all because of all this atmosphere and because of this atmosphere and the music, these two things helped Soapy for the transformation and for remembering his previous life. Now we are on page number 31. The conjunction of Soapy's receptive state of mind and the influences about the old church brought a sudden and wonderful change in his soul. Receptive state of mind, actually, the conjunction. What do you mean by conjunction? That is transformation of Soapy. Conjunction of Soapy's receptive state of mind. What is receptive? Open minded, or ready to listen, or taking insight. State of mind and the influences about the old church. There were influences about the old church and the music, and because of these things, there was a sudden and wonderful change in the soul of Soapy. He viewed with a rising horror the pit into which he had tumbled to fall down suddenly. The degraded days, the unworthy desires, dead hopes, wrecked faculties, and the base motives that made up his existence. Now, actually, like a shock, like alarm, he thought about the pit in which he had tumbled means the world of criminals. Okay, and look at that, so many words are used here, and these words are very important. Unworthy desire, dead hopes, wrecked faculties, that is ruined abilities or destructed abilities. Degraded, that is disreputable days. Okay, when he was doing criminal activities, those days were degraded days, disreputable days. Unworthy desire, dead hopes, wrecked faculties, base motives, actually, base motive means lowly thought, made up his existence. Now he was thinking about the past days. According to him, all these days were futile. Why? Because they were degraded days. Dead hopes were there, unworthy desires were there. And next paragraph, and also in a moment his heart responded thrillingly, excitedly to this strange mood. So, how was the mood of Soapy? Here, the mood of Soapy was in the state of transformation, in the state of change. He remembered his past day when he was a very honest and good human being. There was no criminal background to his life. Okay, and because of that, it means originally he was a very good human being, but maybe because of the situation, circumstances, he shifted towards crime. Okay, but look at that, the effect of the anthem, effect of the church, effect of the atmosphere around the church, pious, religious, all these things forced Soapy to think about his previous life, which was a very good life, which was the life of honest man, which was the life of a good human being. And so he was too much excited. A strong impulse, that is urge, a strong impulse moved him to battle with his desperate fact. Battle, that is to fight. Desperate fact, that is hopeless, dist, distracted actually. He would pull himself out of the mire and would make a man of himself again. Mire. Here, the meaning of mire, a complicated or unpleasant situation from which it is difficult to free oneself. So he was thinking to pull himself from the mire. Which was the mire? Actually, the world of criminals. Would make a man of himself again. It means the line tells us that he was initially a good human being. He would conquer the evil that had enslaved him. There was a time he was a young, yet he would rebuild his old eager ambitions and pursue them without faltering. Resurrect, that is restore to life. Faltering, losing strength. So, losing strength of mind, he should try to get his previous life. Those solemn but sweet organ notes had set up a revolution in him. Tomorrow he would go into the roaring downtown district and find work. A fur importer had once offered him a place as a driver. He would be somebody in the world. Now the journey of Soapy for becoming somebody started. Actually, why did Soapy want to get arrested? Because he was without work and he was lazy. He didn't want to work hard. and he want luxurious and comfort life without hard work, without efforts. And you know that he had shifted towards the crime, and that is why he wanted everything ready made, or that is the food, clothes and shelter. And for that matter, he wanted to go to jail. But now, because of the transformation, he wanted to become a good human being again. And for that matter, he decided that tomorrow, the next day, he would go to the roaring downtown district and find a work, because there was an incident once the fur importer offered him a place of driver. Now, Soapy felt a hand laid on arm. He looked quickly around into the impassive face of the policeman. And when Soapy was in this state of mind, thinking all these things, suddenly he found, or he experienced a touch of a policeman on his shoulder. "What are you doing here?" asked the policeman. "Nothing," said Soapy. "Then come along," said the policeman. "3 months on the island," said magistrate in the police court the next morning. Look at that, the end of the story. Initially, he did 5 attempts for getting arrested, but no policeman or cop arrested him for the crime. But here, now he wanted to become a good human being, to start a fresh life, and there was no fault of his. And without any reason, the policeman arrested him, and he was sentenced of 3 months on that island. This is life, dear student. Many times we expect something to happen. However, the opposite happens. Life is ironical. And this irony is expressed in this story, that is the cop and the anthem. So this is the story of the Soapy, that is a vagabond, gypsy, traveler, nomad, or homeless. It is a wonderful story by O. Henry. Okay, if we see around us, so many Soapies are there in our society. You know that because of the industrialization, because of the globalization, migration, uh, because of all these things, rural people from rural area migrated towards the urban area, and so many youngsters are there in metropolitan cities now, like Soapy. They shifted for earning, they migrated for earning. But because of the circumstances, or because of the conditions, sometimes they commit, or they have committed small crimes. And because of the small crimes committed by them, they entered in the field, or we can call entered in the world of criminals. And without their intuition, without their wish, they have become criminals. Okay, so we should try to understand the conditions of people like Soapy. Look at that. If we think about the character of the Soapy, Soapy was not a bad human being. Okay, and when we have been dealing with the story, our empathy was with Soapy. Why? Because he was not a villainous character. Okay, we can call him a grey character. but we cannot call him villain. Okay, so these things are there, and we have to understand the youth nowadays also. The youth, because of the circumstances, because of the situations, caught in the clutches of the world's or world's affairs, or all these things are also present. We cannot promote, we cannot support the acts of soapy or crimes, but it is a probing question again. We have to think about globalization, modernization, migration, and because of that, crime rate is increasing. Okay, so, and the very most important thing which is dealt in this story, that is irony of human life. At every stage of our life we experience the irony. Okay, that is the most important thing which is dealt in this story. So now we will move towards the brainstorming section. it We are on page number 32 now. Brainstorming, you know that activities are given there. Discuss with your partner and find out different ways in which Sophie tried to get arrested. The first one is given. You know that Sophie made 5 attempts for getting arrested, and we have to write down those 5 attempts. One is given. Number one, try to enter a luxurious cafe. Yes. Second, Sophie took a stone and dashed it through the glass of shop window. Next, Sophie ate meal in a common restaurant and declared that he had no money to pay the bill. Next, Sophie yelled like a drunken person and made noise on public place. Next, Sophie grabbed the umbrella of a person and asked him to call the police or call the policeman. Okay, got it? Next, describe the atmosphere when Sophie reached near near the church. One is done for you. A soft light glowed through the violet stained window. After that, it was a quiet corner with an old church, quaint, rambling, and gable. You know that the answer is on page number 31. Okay, some actually last 3 paragraphs are there here. Sparrows twittered sleepily in the eaves in the country churchyard. Next, read the story and match the incidents given in the column A with the consequences given in column B. You know that 2 columns are given here. Okay, some incidents are there and its consequences. Number one, Sophie tried to enter a cafe. What is its consequence? The consequence is that strong and ready hands of the head waiter turned around him. You know that Sophie tried to enter the luxurious cafe, but the head waiter uh, didn't allow him to enter in the cafe. Sophie broke a glass window. The cop ran after another man. The cop didn't arrest Sophie. 2 waiters pitched Sophie on the callous pavement. What was the consequence of that? He stood up slowly, beating the dust from his clothes. Next, Sophie heard the anthem being played in the church. What was the consequence of it? Suddenly, a wonderful change came in life was shattered. Cop arrests Sophie for hanging around. Its consequence, dream of turning around in life was shattered. Okay. Next is there, give reason and complete the following. Soapy had confidence in himself because, you know that we are dealing with the next activity. Soapy had confidence in himself because the portion on him that would show above the table was neat. He was shaven, his appearance would raise no doubt in the waiter's mind. Next, the head waiter of luxurious cafe did not allow Soapy to enter because. Why? Because the head waiter's eye fell upon his tattered trousers and decadent shoes. Next, the cop did not arrest Soapy for breaking the glass window because, according to the cop, men who smash windows do not remain to chat with the policeman, they run away from the place. Next, the cop did not arrest Soapy for shouting and dancing. He considered Soapy as a L student coming from a party at the Hartford College. The police had instructions to neglect these young person. Okay, that is it about this activity. So many activities are given on page number 33 and again on page number 34. Okay, so we'll try to understand each activity in detail. Okay, so remaining activities we will see in the next video. Up to that, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.